today we're going to be talking about the Fidelious charm, and I'm going to go over how this works, and I'm going to go over all of these presumed plot holes and kind of noodle my way through them and let you know my explanations and understandings of it, because I think there's less plot holes than we realize. I think there's just a few misunderstandings out there. I know I was confused on some things, but I wanted to do this video to clear it up, talk about the Fidelious charm, talk about how it works, explain the magic behind it, and then go through all of the scenarios of the four times that we see it used throughout the book series. Professor Flitwick quote reads, "An immensely complex spell," he said squeakily, "involving the magical concealment of a secret inside a single living soul. The information is hidden inside the chosen person or secret keeper and is henceforth impossible to find unless of course the secret keeper chooses to divulge it. As long as the secret keeper refuses to speak, you know who could search the village where Lily and James were staying for years and never find them, not even if he had his nose pressed against their sitting room window." I really do think it's just describing the charm itself. I don't think it's describing their actual circumstances. Now, unless Flitwick went to the scene of the crime and assessed anything he could from the charm, I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if he could assess anything, but yes, I do believe it was the house that was under the charm, because they would have put up like a perimeter. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Now, granted, I've only been able to find secondary sources describing the charm this way, but it has been described as unplottable, intangible, and pretty much invisible. Like, most people will say invisible, other people will say anything but like pretty much describe invisible. Like, you could literally be staring at it and never know that it's right in front of you. Your nose could be against the sitting room window and you would never know what you're sniffing. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, how the secret keeper thing works is the spell is cast and then the secret is bound to that person's soul. So that person is now the secret keeper and they can only willingly divulge the secret. So Crucio, Imperio, True Serum, Occlumency, nothing, absolutely nothing could get this secret out of anyone unless they truly wanted to share it and shared it of their own free will. Now, say someone does decide to share the information of their own free will. That person then becomes the secondary secret keeper. They themselves will find it impossible to share the secret. So they, even if they wanted to, even if they like really wanted to, they could not share the secret. And we see this in a wonderful example as the advance guard takes Harry from his 4 Privet Drive with the Dursleys to 12 Grimmauld Place. They're all standing there. They would all obviously rather just tell him rather than wait outside, but Dumbledore had to handwrite a note, give it to Moody. Moody had to give it to Harry. Harry had to actually think about the word 12, look at the building, see 11 and 13, and then be like, but 12 Grimmauld Place, and then it revealed itself, because only Dumbledore, the main secret keeper, could tell the secret. All the secondary secret keepers couldn't share it themselves. So technically, for a brief moment of time, Voldemort was the secondary secret keeper for Lily and James Potter. This is also confirmed from a quote with J.K. Rowling where she says, in other words, a secret is enchanted so that it's protected by a single secret keeper. Henceforth, nobody else, not even the subject themselves, can divulge the secret. So Lily and James couldn't even tell anybody where they were. The secret can be passed in 3 different ways. We see it passed verbally, we see it passed written, and we see it passed physically when Hermione and the trio are escaping the Ministry and Yaxley grabs onto Hermione, and as the secret keeper, because Dumbledore's dead, so they're all now secret keepers, and it just like totally, like, I think it was Molly Weasley that said it really dilutes the power, because there's like 20 plus people that are actual main secret keepers that could all divulge the secret if they wanted to and chose to. So because Hermione was a secret keeper and Yaxley grabbed onto her and she brought him past the parameter that was around 12 Grimmauld Place of like she had then shared the secret with Yaxley. Now, I think it was Harry, maybe, that made the assumption that Yaxley could then bring other Death Eaters there, but technically Yaxley would then be a secondary secret keeper, right? He would be a secondary secret keeper because it was shared by the main secret keepers and none of them are dead. but does it have to be all the secret keepers are dead before the secondary secret keepers can tell? Or is it like just the one that told you has to be dead before the secondary secret keeper can tell? Because I don't think Harry was right in this, because I don't think he actually could have told anybody, because I think he is the secondary secret keeper. How many times did I say secondary secret keeper in the last minute? One of the biggest questions and the biggest arguments used by people that claim that Dumbledore did know that Sirius was innocent was who cast the fucking Fidelious charm for Lily and James Potter. No one knows. No one knows. Nobody will ever know. It was not Dumbledore, though. It's so plain as day in Prisoner of Azkaban Chapter 10, as we're talking with McGonagall, Madame Rosmerta, Professor Flitwick, and Hagrid's all there. And McGonagall straight up tells us, she was like, James insisted that it was Sirius. He absolutely insisted it was Sirius, even though Dumbledore warned him. He was worried. He was suspicious. He didn't like it. James was like, no, I trust Sirius. Sirius would literally rather die than tell. I know Sirius would never tell. He will be my secret keeper. And that was that. That was all they knew. After that, the charm was performed. Fudge tells us a week later they were dead. Nobody knew what happened. So my question is, in this little gray area where between Harry's birthday, July 31st, his first birthday, and then October 31st, the death of his parents and the fall of Voldemort. So let's walk through this. As soon as Lily gets pregnant, they immediately go into hiding. They're protecting their family. They're a part of the Order. They know that they're going to be targeted. So they just go into hiding anyway. Harry's first birthday comes and Sirius sends a broom. Lily sends him a letter of thank you. I cannot find a date on this letter. Now we know J.K. Rowling did not put a lot of time and consideration into her dates and timelines, and she outright admitted there's 24 hours missing from her timeline from the time that Harry's parents die and he's taken from Godric's Hollow, I couldn't think of the word, Godric's Hollow to the Dursley's Aunt Petunia. So she knows that there's time missing. So we can't really trust actual dates and timelines as much as I want to be a exact date person. I love exact dates. I love timelines. I love order. It helps me understand what's going on. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm in a bowl of soup and it's alphabet soup and there's too much information for my brain to handle, There's no date in the book and there's seemingly no date in anything that we see in the movies, but Warner Bros. Studios has a prop of the letter and it does have an early August. It just has an August date on it. We just know it's August. There is one singular line in the letter that's Harry doesn't know it's his birthday. Or Harry's too young, he doesn't know it's his birthday. And the line is in present tense. So I personally kind of feel like Lily could have written this letter on the day of Harry's birthday, because I feel like Sirius would be the godfather to totally get him his gift right on time. Something else to note from, I believe it was chapter 19 of I don't know. It was in Prisoner of Azkaban. It's in the shack. I forgot what chapter number it was, but it's in the shack. Peter has been revealed. Scabbers has been revealed as Peter Pettigrew. There, we've set the scene. Thank you. Peter's trying to claim that he didn't mean to share the secret, that he was tortured, that all these things happened, that he didn't mean to, that this happened, blah, blah. He's making excuses. Sirius calls him out. He's like, no, you liar. You've been passing information to Voldemort for years. Sirius says that he had been passing information to Voldemort for years. So my question is, why would he wait until after the charm is performed to tell Voldemort? Why would he wait this long? Why would he protect their location after turning? Why would he wait that long? Why? That doesn't make any sense. If he's already turned, Peter does not seem like the type of person to have any backbone at all whatsoever. If he had already turned, he would have told him literally everything. Day one, 5 minutes. That was the first 30 minutes of their meeting, was just him spilling his guts. That's how he got the dark mark, because he spilled his guts enough. That was the only reason. So that's just my assumption. Don't take me for canon. That's just my assumption. I'm just making jokes. These questions led me to my theory of Voldemort knew exactly where they were the entire time. The entire time. Here's the thing. The prophecy was told early 1980, I do believe, and then Harry was born of July that year. So the prophecy was told before he was born. Now Lily was pregnant at the time, and they probably could do math about a due date, but granted, he was literally born the very last day of July. If they had done the math about the due date and had any idea about this prophecy, Lily would have been crossing her legs until August 1st. You know what I'm saying? But maybe it was just that Voldemort simply had not asked Peter about Lily and James because he had not connected them to the prophecy yet. He had not targeted them in any way. They were just simply Order members that were defying him, but they weren't actively defying him because they went into hiding. But still, I feel like if Voldemort wanted to get to them at any point in time, he would have. He absolutely would have. If he felt like going around and Avada Kedavraing, if he just was in a happy mood, he just wanted to skip through an Avada Kedavra, a couple Order members, he could have gotten names from Peter pretty easily, you know? I think that in Lily's letter that she sends to Sirius after Harry's birthday, and she says, Peter was here, Wormy was here the last weekend, and he seemed really sad. I think that was when Voldemort had decided he was going to target the Potters. That was when he decided, no, this is the kid that the prophecy is about. This is the kid that I need to target. And that's when he decided. Because it was probably fairly soon after this, probably sometime soon after this, that Snape obviously was in the inner circle. He would have been one of the first ones to know about it. And Peter probably would have been one of the first ones to know that Voldemort made this decision because he knew Peter had these connections, and he's like, hey, aren't you friends with that James guy? Didn't he have a son at the end of July? I'd love to meet him. But Peter either had already given the information about their location, or he was about to, or he just at the very least knew that they were about to be targeted and this child was gonna be ended, that he was the one in the prophecy. And so Peter knew all this stuff. He knew his friends were about to die, and he knew that he was going to be the one to do it. He probably felt bad. He just didn't have a spine. He probably really did care about them. He just didn't have a spine. After Snape found out that Voldemort was going to target Harry and the Potter family, he probably tried to weigh his options. I'm sure he did not immediately go to Dumbledore and was like, help me please. I feel like that was a Hail Mary move on Snape's part. Like, I feel like his first idea was like, no, there's two kids. There's totally two. We should totally go after the other one. Like, totally. Like, this is totally the kid. Totally gonna work. This is definitely, it sounded like they said the name Neville, too. Anyway, I think I heard the name Neville. He probably tried a couple things before he was like, okay, nothing's gonna work. There's no way around this. I've got to pull this Hail Mary. Dumbledore, please, I'll give you anything. So it was probably also very likely that Voldemort just simply did not care. Even if he did know where the Potters were because of Peter before this, probably just simply didn't care. He was focused on bigger things. He was in Albania trying to hunt these Horcruxes, looking for a hollow tree to find a diadem in, you know? So he had bigger fish to fry. He had bigger things going on than just a couple Order members. But after the prophecy was actually about them, he was like, no, we gotta make a plan. So this leads me into another theory. We don't know when Voldemort met Nagini. We have no idea. We know she got Horcruxed with the death of Bertha Jorkins in like 1994 in Albania, but Voldemort was in Albania for 10 years before he attacked Harry. I think he met Nagini then. I think he did not intend to make Harry a Horcrux. He wanted to use Harry's death to make a Horcrux. There are so many fan theories. I made a Horcrux theory video on TikTok the other day, and so many people were like, no, he did mean to make Harry a Horcrux. Like, that was his intention. Like, he was planning on it. It just, like, went badly and this and that. And I'm like, but then why does it say so many times over and over and over and over and over again, you were the Horcrux he never meant to make? Why would J.K. Rowling write that if it's theory that he was gonna be the Horcrux? I think Voldemort absolutely wanted to use him. I think he absolutely was thinking that way. I see your train of thought. I just raise you one. He wanted to use Harry because of all the symbolism and whatnot. He wanted to use Harry's death to make Nagini a Horcrux. That was why that was the very first thing he did after, in 1994, when Peter came, in 1994 when Peter came back and gave him a little golem-like decrepit body. Somebody gave me something. Fetus Voldemort gave him Fetus Voldemort. And his very first order of business was like, get me somebody. Nagini needs to be a Horcrux right now, immediately. And he had no idea that Harry was a Horcrux. He thought he failed because we know that when he made the signet, the Gaunt ring, a Horcrux, he killed his father and then went back and stole the ring. So it's not like you have to do it immediately in that moment. So maybe Nagini was there that night, and maybe Nagini helped get him out safely and back to Albania, or maybe he really was there by himself and he went with the intention to kill Harry, have his soul split, and go back to Nagini and Horcrux her. But it went wrong because Lily's sacrifice, because he's Avada Kedavraing left and right. He's not using every death to actually make a Horcrux. He's going around. We got green lights everywhere. But he hit Lily's sacrifice, put a spell over Harry. And so when he tried to do the spell to use Harry for a Horcrux, it didn't work. Or does he just Avada Kedavra and then does the spell on himself? Because we don't actually know how a Horcrux is made. After this incident, by the time Sirius got there, Hagrid had already been there and gotten Harry out. Sirius got there just in time before Hagrid was leaving, but Hagrid already had orders and had already spoken to Dumbledore that Hagrid had to take Harry to the Dursleys. That was it. That was that. There's no question about it. This means that after the death of the subject, it is then broken. It is likely their deaths that broke it, since literally, now granted, a Horcrux is so insane and so dark and nobody had done that. Maybe a Horcrux itself was one of the only things that would be powerful and ancient enough to be able to break the Fidelious charm. Because I mean, if Truth Serum and Occlumency and all these other things didn't work, there's no way a spell could have just broken the Fidelious charm. It would have to be the death of the subjects, right? Sirius himself only showed up to the house because he saw that Peter was gone. He had gone to check on Peter that night to make sure he was okay, to make sure nobody had gotten him, targeted him, that he wasn't hurt, because he was at huge risk being the secret keeper, you know? So he went to go check on Peter. Peter was gone. He was like, and of course that happened. He's like, all right, crap, everything's gone to shit. I gotta get over there now. Gets over to the house. Now, my question is, was Sirius a secondary secret keeper? Because if he was a secondary secret keeper, he would not have been able to pass this information on to anybody, even if he wanted to, according to what we know and understand, and according to this quote about J.K. Rowling. The decision to make Peter the secret keeper over Sirius was that Sirius was the obvious choice, that they would go after him, and that the secret could have actually been shared by him, and that if he died, then if Peter was the secondary secret keeper, then that means if Sirius died, then anybody else that knew about it would then be able to share the secret. Either that, or Sirius was able to find the house again because the spell had been broken, which was true because Hagrid had already gotten there, and Hagrid had no way of ever knowing that this was a secret, had no way of being the secondary secret keeper to find it on his own. It is this detail that then loops me into who really was present at the casting of the Fidelious charm on Peter. So here's where I'm at. There is the secret keeper, the subject, potentially a third party spellcaster. I think that maybe all four of them were there. Sirius does say at the last moment it could have been that the four of them were all together. James and them were about to cast it on Sirius, or Peter, the third party, was going to cast it on Sirius, or Sirius was going to cast it on himself. Before that happened, he was like, no. It should be Peter. I'm too obvious. So then Sirius casts it on Peter. Peter casts it on himself. James casts it on Peter? Or was it that James was only going to tell Sirius, it was only the three of them, and James was going to cast it on Sirius, or Sirius was going to cast it on himself? He said, oh no, this might not work, this might be too obvious, I think you should do Peter. And then he left, and then the three of them did it. Now, if the three of them did it, and Sirius knew where they lived, does Sirius get grandfathered in as secondary secret keeper, and vice versa? Peter knew where they were. Does he get grandfathered in? No, I don't think so. I don't think that really tracks. I can't really find anything that supports it in any way. I do believe that after the secret is concealed, only the people that have been told the secret can share it. And I think that Sirius was only able to find the house again that night because the spell was, or the charm was already broken. I don't think that Sirius could have found the house or checked on them if he wanted. Because you don't think Sirius wouldn't have been staking it out, protecting them, Hawkeye, watching over the house, you know? You don't think that there would have been some of that? He was going to check on Peter because Peter was the only person he could check on. You don't think that if he was going to check on somebody to make sure they were okay, it would have been James, you know? Here's my thing. The soul is a very special thing throughout the entire series. It plays a very important part in like a lot of these plot lines, themes, all this fun little tangled up stuff. The soul is very important. I feel like the Fidelious charm has to be cast on oneself because it's kind of crossing a line to cast a spell on someone else's soul. I feel like, I don't know. You know, like it's supposed to be a very, Flitwick says it's a very complex and very ancient charm. Like it's very hard to do. Now, granted, do we think Peter's capable of something like this? But he was able to do the animagus process. Now, Peter and James helped him quite a bit. We do know that. So James was right there with Peter. James would have taught Peter how to do the spell. I feel like Sirius and James are both very capable of doing the spell. And James taught Peter how to do the spell, and Peter did perform it on himself successfully. Because to me, that just makes sense, that to perform magic on somebody's soul just seems so drastic and important. It doesn't totally make sense to me that you would be able to do that to somebody else's soul. Like, Voldemort could only split his own soul. I don't want to compare the Fidelious charm to a Horcrux process, because I feel like that's like 1,000,003 times harder. But like, you could only do that to your own soul, you know? It's yours. It's your soul. That's kind of the end of my crazy little loop about the Lily and James situation, everything that happened there. Now, we do know that in 2 of these next situations we're going to discuss, you can be the secret keeper of your own residence. So why Lily and James were not their own secret keepers baffles everybody. Nobody knows. So they just really wanted to bring their friends into it. They really trusted their friends. They really wanted that camaraderie. And it, I think, maybe amplifies, or not amplifies, what's the word? Brings up, it enhances, it adds more to the theme of it's love that conquers all. And because there was no love there, then it didn't work. Like, there has to be real, genuine care and friendship. I don't know. One time I was doing a TikTok and I was talking about 12 Grimmauld Place, and the closed captions love to do me dirty, but everything like combusts into flames inside my phone whenever I try to edit them, so I just don't bother because it's not worth it to me. But yeah, like I was saying, one time the captions did me dirty and it said 12 Grandma Place. So now let's talk about 12 Grandma Place. I believe I already explained that when the advance guard took Harry from 4 Privet Drive to 12 Grandma Place, that they couldn't tell him that they had to give Harry the note from Dumbledore. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Once they get inside, it is then explained to him that the house is under a Fidelious charm and only Dumbledore, the secret keeper, can be the one to share it. So we do get a little bit of an explanation in the book there. I actually think I covered everything about 12 Grandma Place so far. Yeah, because everybody has a secret keeper. Molly says it's all diluted. Yaxley couldn't bring other people to it. Yeah, I think I covered everything about that one. Cool. The next 2 instances of the Fidelious charm is after the Malfoy Manor, once the trio and Luna and everybody else that's rescued, Griphook and Mr. Ollivander, once they all get to Shell Cottage, Bill then he elevates over to, he takes the escalator, Bill takes the escalator over to the Burrow, and he tells his family, hey, shit's going down, you're in trouble, everybody's exposed, they know Ron's not upstairs, you can't go to work anymore, I know you were acting like everything was normal, pretending like you weren't afraid of everything every day. Can you imagine being Arthur Weasley going into the ministry every day? Like, I have Crohn's disease, and I cannot tell you the horrible things that would happen to my digestive system being under that kind of stress. No, thank you. After this, the rest of the Weasleys then moved to Molly's Aunt Muriel's house, and they put the Fidelious charm over that, and Arthur Weasley is the secret keeper there, and Bill knows about it, and he tells Harry about it, so Bill is the secondary secret keeper? Oh no. No. I didn't think about this already. If Bill's the secondary secret keeper of Aunt Muriel's house, how the hell does he tell Harry about it if he's supposed to find it impossible to tell anyone? How does Bill tell Harry about Aunt Muriel's Fidelious charm and that Arthur's the secret keeper? I don't know, multiple people can be secret keepers. You can cast the charm. Well, then that's me saying you can cast the charm on more than one person. That means the subject is casting the charm on the person keeping the secret. Well, now I'm contradicting everything. Before I go down that rabbit hole any longer, Bill was the secret keeper of Shell Cottage. So, did Bill perform it on himself? Did Fleur perform it on him? Was Bill the secret keeper of 2 houses at the same time? How did he tell Harry? Well, then this just loops me back to, because he already knew about his own great Aunt Muriel's house, or just Aunt Muriel's house, was he grandfathered in? Are we back to the grandfathered in theory? Is that what this is? Is he grandfathered in as a secret keeper, but then he would only be secondary secret keeper, and that brings me back to he's not supposed to be able to tell. Damn it. Okay, this is just not supposed to make sense, and this is as much as I can make sense of it, and I tried, and most people have tried better than me, I'm sure have tried. This was my best shot. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Okay, I think I'm just gonna cap it off there. That is all I really had to say about today. I hate leaving it on a question, but I would love to know your thoughts and feelings in the comments. As always, I'm on TikTok all week. I love talking with you guys, because otherwise I'm just talking to a phone camera all day, and that's pretty boring. And I know you guys like the sound of my voice, but I listen to me all the time, and I like to talk to other people too. But really, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of the support. I cannot believe that I actually have like over 700 subscribers now, and the way this is going, and I've been having so much fun, and really thank you for making my time and energy and my efforts worth it, because I love this information. I love hanging out with you guys. I love making this content for you guys, and I'm really, really glad that you enjoy it, and you're all just so kind and supportive of me, and it just feels so good, and I really do feel like I live in this happy little bubble. And when I tell people that this is what I'm doing, usually their first question is, well, like, is anybody being mean to you? Like, are people mean? And like, yeah, like I've had it like here and there, but like I always describe it as I feel like I'm in a bubble of love and support, because I have there's just so much love and support, and I've made so many friends and real connections, and I love it, and you guys mean the world to me. So thank you for all that you've given me and all that you've done for my life so far. It really means the world, and when I tell you I appreciate you, like I mean I really do appreciate you individually, like as a whole in this public. Everybody that's watching this video, thank you. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. Have a great day.